Let me begin by saying this. There's a phrase, just a handful of words, that holds the power to cut through manipulation and shatter the illusion. When spoken, it sends a shockwave straight through a narcissist's mind when they simply can't handle. But before I reveal this phrase, I need you to understand why it works, why it rattles them to their core. This isn't about controlling another person. It's about reclaiming the power that's always been yours. It's about standing strong in your truth and taking back the control that was stolen from you. This phrase, when spoken with certainty and calm, disarms them. It's not just about the words themselves, it's about the energy you carry when you say them. The narcissist feeds off your doubt, your fear, your confusion. They thrive in the chaos they create, but when you speak this phrase, you put up a mirror to their deception. You refuse to be dragged into their games any longer. So, here's why this phrase works. Narcissists are master manipulators, but they're also deeply insecure. Beneath that polished, confident exterior lies a fragile ego constantly terrified of being exposed for the fraud they truly are. Every day they put on a performance, pretending to be someone they're not, building a false persona to gain admiration, control, and power. But deep down, they know this facade is precarious. They live in constant fear that their mask will slip, revealing the insecurity and emptiness beneath. They fear that their web of lies will unravel, and with it, their control over those around them will vanish. The truth is, narcissists can't stand being vulnerable or powerless. It's a feeling they avoid at all costs because it's an admission that they're not the superior, untouchable figures they desperately want the world to believe they are. So, they manipulate, they charm, they criticize, they gaslight, they twist your reality, anything to maintain that sense of control, of dominance. But here's where it gets interesting. The moment you stop giving them that control, the moment you stop playing by their rules, they begin to lose their grip on you. And that's where their entire world starts to crumble. You see, narcissists are conditioned to thrive on your emotional responses. Your fear, your confusion, your need for validation, they feed off it like parasites. They want to keep you hooked. In their game, keep you questioning yourself, doubting your worth, believing that you need them to feel whole. But when you start to pull back, when you stop reacting to their manipulations, they lose their power over you. And that's exactly what they can't stand. They can't stand being ignored. They can't stand not being the center of attention. They can't stand when you no longer look to them for approval or seek their validation. It's as if you've ripped away the foundation of their existence. Because for them, it's never been about love or connection. It's always been about control. It's about them being the one with the power, the one who calls the shots, the one who holds the upper hand. The moment you refuse to feed into their need for dominance, they lose the very thing that sustains them. When you strip them of their ability to manipulate your reality, when you stop allowing them to define your self-worth, you shatter their carefully constructed world. The reality they've built for themselves starts to fall apart. They don't know how to react when you stop caring about their validation, their approval, or their existence in your life. And that confusion and helplessness, that's when you've won. They thrive on keeping you entangled in their web, making you believe that they are the source of all the answers, the key to your happiness, the one who can make or break you. But when you take that power back, when you start trusting in yourself and your own worth, their influence on you starts to fade. It's not just a blow to their ego, it's the collapse of their entire sense of self. They no longer know who they are without you under their control, and that uncertainty is what terrifies them most. So, what is this phrase? It's simple, yet profoundly powerful. It's, I don't need this. Let me say that again. I don't need this. When you speak those words, you're not just rejecting their behavior, you're rejecting the very notion that you need them to validate your worth. In that single phrase, you're drawing a line in the sand, making it crystal clear that you're sense of self is not dependent on their approval, their control, or their manipulation. It's a declaration of independence, a moment of self-empowerment that can never be twisted or distorted by anyone. Think about it for a moment. When you say, "I don't need this," you're telling them that they no longer have a hold over your emotions, your choices, or your life. You've reclaimed your personal power, and that's something they can never take away. This phrase isn't just about rejecting them. It's about reclaiming you. Now, here's the thing. Narcissists thrive on your need for them. They want you to feel like you can't live without them, that you're weak without their validation. And so, they will do everything they can to make you believe that you can't function on your own, that your worth is tied to them in some way. But when you speak those words, "I don't need this," you shatter that illusion. You remind them that you were whole before them, and you'll be whole after them. And here's the loop. The more you say it, the stronger you become. At first, it might feel strange. You might wonder if you're being too harsh or too bold. But every time you say it, you reaffirm to yourself that you don't need to tolerate their toxic behavior, their emotional games, or their mind games. Every time you say, "I don't need this," you're pushing back against the chains they've tried to place on you. You're not just rejecting them, you're rejecting their power over you. It doesn't matter if they try to gaslight you, or if they twist the truth to make you doubt your own perception. It doesn't matter if they try to belittle you, to make you feel small, to convince you that you're nothing without them. When you say, "I don't need this," you're showing them that you've stopped relying on their validation to define your worth. You're reminding them that their power over you has come to an end, but it's not just about them. Saying, "I don't need this," is a reminder to yourself that you're worthy, no matter what they say or do. It's a powerful act of self-affirmation, a declaration that you are in control of your own life, your own decisions, and your own happiness. You've taken back your autonomy. You've chosen to no longer tolerate the chaos they bring into your life. And as you continue to repeat this phrase, you'll feel your confidence grow. You'll feel the shackles of manipulation, the weight of their control begin to loosen. The more you remind yourself, "I don't need this," the more you detach from the false reality they've tried to impose on you. You realize that their opinion, their behavior, their approval, none of it defines you. You are free to walk away, to take your energy, your time, your life back. Here's the second loop. When you stop feeding into their manipulations, when you stop reacting to their bait, you start to see their true colors. The mask slips. The narcissist no longer has the power to twist your reality, to dictate your emotional state, to make you feel guilty for wanting to live a life free from their toxicity. You become immune to their games, to their attempts to control, because you've found your own strength. You've realized that you don't need them, not for validation, not for love, not for anything. And here's the final loop. Every time you say, "I don't need this," you get closer to your true self, the version of you that was always there, hidden beneath the weight of their manipulations and lies. You begin to remember who you really are. Beyond their influence, you rediscover your worth, your autonomy, your ability to make decisions based on your values, not theirs. So, the next time you're faced with their manipulation, with their attempts to control your emotions, remember this: you don't need them. You never did. You've always had the power within yourself. And when you say, "I don't need this," you reclaim that power, reminding both them and yourself that you're no longer bound by their toxic grasp. Remember this: narcissists can only manipulate those who are willing to be manipulated. They thrive on attention, on being the center of your world. They feed off your emotional responses, your validation, your need for their approval. Without that, they wither. Their control is an illusion, built on your willingness to play the game. And here's the truth: when you stop playing, when you stop feeding into their manipulation, they lose their grip. You become untouchable. So take it away. Take away your energy. Take away your focus. Take away your time. Don't give them the power to dictate your emotions or your actions any longer. Walk away from the chaos they've created. Withdraw from their toxic presence and feel the shift inside you. And this shift isn't just about freedom from their control. It's the liberation of your own strength. It's you, finally standing in your power, realizing that you don't need their validation to feel worthy, to feel strong, to feel whole. Because here's the secret. Their manipulation only works if you let it. If you allow yourself to be vulnerable to their emotional games, to their deceit, to their lies. But when you reclaim your boundaries, when you reject their attempts to control your narrative, you're not just walking away from them. You're walking toward your own personal growth, your own mental freedom, your own peace. And when you walk away with your head held high, there's something incredible that happens inside of you. A quiet sense of pride, a deep understanding that this moment wasn't just about them. It was always about you, about your ability to rise above their toxicity, about your power to reject the false narrative they've tried to impose on you. You are not defined by their manipulation. You are not defined by their chaos. You are defined by your own strength, your own choices, your own value, and that is something they can never take away. So when you say, "I don't need this," it's not just a phrase, it's a declaration of your independence, a reminder to yourself that you are free. Free from the chains they've tried to wrap around you, free from the lies they've used to keep you in check. And when you walk away, when you reclaim your energy, your life, your peace, it's not just the end of the relationship, it's the beginning of your transformation. You'll know deep down that this wasn't about them, it was always about you. It's about remembering who you truly are beyond their manipulation. It's about stepping into your power and choosing to live life on your own terms. And once you do that, there's no going back.